Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. I actually think the Gatorman Fortress was revealed before the Hamlet. The Hamlet is quite a new thing. And so you know what? The Fortress, it feels like it'll be a big thing, so maybe starting an episode with it is the right way to go. Look, there's a big shiny treasure chest on that Tusok over there. Which, was that what it was last time? I almost feel like it was a different word. I think it must have been that one. We'll properly check it out this time. Oh no, as you approach the chest, a bunch of Gatormen jump out of the mud surrounding you. It was an ambush all along. Throw your haunch of meat at them. The swamp haunch. Sure, I'll give that a go. Maybe that's a one-time use thing that I've spent now. You chuck the haunch of raw meat at the Gatormen who start fighting over it immediately. I assume your plan was to sneak away while they're distracted, so I'll just go ahead and say you did that. Yeah, cool. Well, there was the haunch to distract the Gatormen on my way to go and fight a bunch of Gatormen. Surely there must be somewhere else in the swamp that is more hospitable than this place. I'm just gonna close this one. I'll just take the experience. I don't know, I rarely am ending up using the things that are inside there. I don't know. These Gatormen aren't doing enough damage to each other for it to seem like a real fight. Either they're just sparring, or this is how Gatorman arguments work. Either way, they aren't paying any attention to you. I will just sneak past them. That's very satisfying to watch that sneaking taking place. It was incredibly drawn out though, too. I probably will just fight them in the future. This filthy pipe must lead inside, presumably to the bathroom part of inside, if the smell is any indication. Well, I could stench armor up for that easily enough. I think I am just gonna fight these two. You carefully sneak up behind the Gatorman. Yeah, now I'm properly behind. I snuck around so I could sneak behind for maximum sneak potential, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And then you step on a screaming eel, one of the most aptly named forms of wildlife endemic to this area. Human trespasser, sound alarm. Hey, alarm, kill a human. Maybe this was a mistake. A couple other Gatormen rush out, not wanting to miss the chance to kill a human. Maybe it's not going to be that over the top. It'll be like one simple little battle here. I see that they have quite a bit of health, so I may want to be a little bit careful. I will summon a cheese to help me out. And then I'll try and put down what other ones come emerging. There, I'm in pretty decent shape here already, and you can get rid of that one on your own. A chomp. Dang, my shadow buddy got taken down, but that's quite alright. You won! Who said a frontal assault on an enemy fortress was bad strategy? Sun Tzu shows what he knew. Ooh, Weed Lord Fetish. A drippy little totem woven from swamp weeds. Some of that good, dank weed. Steal HP from an opponent equal to your muscle once per fight. It's an offhand weapon. Seems quite strong. No need to crawl through now. I don't know if I'm going to fight everyone. Yeah. So maybe I could have just wandered around them and not fought. I don't know, but I'm basically just going to fight people, I think. This bunch of Gatormen... Wait. What's the collective noun of Gatormen? A cruelty, a depravity, a butthole? Well, anyway, this bunch of Gatormen are so shocked or so drunk to see a human stroll in their front door, they haven't attacked you yet. So drunk to see... I will fight them. They look like they're having a rip-roaring, sloppy good time. I hate to interrupt it, but, you know, things need doing around here, and I'm the man for the job. If I would have just committed, I could have properly taken this one out. At least the stench damage, the poison, something will get him. Not gonna last too long there. There, that went pretty smooth. You won! Now their collective noun can be losers. Excellent. Alphonse just chilling in the back there. You're totally okay with all this, eh? He's hungry. He's totally just doing his own thing as per usual. It's Charles. He's in a cage. It's a cage with Charles in it. Charles! Shh. They'll hear you. Oh, right. Boy, am I glad to see you, kid. Thought I was a goner. You're the adventuresome type and all. You know how to pick a lock? Only with an appropriately shaped key. You'll have to get it off their leader then. I think his room's down the other end of the hall. What is the cat? The cat's doing crazy things in the room here. Okay, I'll be right back. In the meantime, I'm just gonna go punch up a bunch more Gatormen. A forge, presumably for hammering on terrible Gator metals. We're just gonna assume that they have no ability to have good metals. You just think so poorly of them? Look at them doing their push-ups and flexing and pull-ups and just jumping jacks. You think these guys got no good metals? Stereotypes, I tell ya. These Gatormen are exercising and also blocking your way to whatever's at the end of the hall. What are you doing down there, cat? Just sprinting around back and forth? Alright, go do your own thing. Whatever's at the end of the hall. Probably it's something important, because the end of the hall is where the important stuff usually is, right? Except for the infinite hallway. Unless the most important things are at the end of that hallway. That's very, very much a possibility. Could be the direction that was meant to head. I probably should have just committed harder to it. I tapped out a little too early. The infinite hallway had much more to offer, and I didn't see it through. See, I want to damage everyone there. So everyone's a little bit more weakened. The stench damage will finish that guy off. Kind of sees it through. Toast. Chomp. Poison. Stench. It wasn't quite enough. I thought maybe all that comboing of layering things together there would put him away. Now you can find out what's at the end of the hall. I hope it's cool. I'd be cool with it being hot. I'd be hot with it being cool. Either option, I think, would work out well for me personally. I don't think I would have crawled into the bathroom. It doesn't seem like it. Hey, go away! He just went and hid in that little box. Do you think the Gatorman's taste in books is as bad as everything else about them? Keeping the rust off your iron fist. See, they know a little bit about metals. Don't eat your henchmen. Tips for new rulers. Spot welding guide for ad hoc fortresses. Yeah, these are all pretty much what you'd expect, except, well, here's one that seems interesting. Bones and how to crack them. A treatise on bone pain and how to maximize it in all your victims. Grants you the combat skill Crack Your Knuckles, which increases mysticality by 3. You've skimmed through most of the really nasty parts, but you do learn a few things about Knuckles that you're able to apply in non-torture contexts. Finger flexibility is key to nuanced spell casting. There's a slightly more challenging chapter that delves deeper into knuckle physics. If you do, cracking your knuckles will increase mysticality by an additional 2. Knuckle down or knuckle off. I will knuckle down instead of like buckle down or buckle off. You study knuckle anatomy until you can't think about anything else. Crack Knuckles is upgraded. Once you've finished, you crack your knuckles so loudly that the resulting sonic boom disintegrates the book. Bam. Well, totally knocked that one off. I assume it will use AP to do that. And in that case, like, I don't know, I probably was better off just doing damage to things. Potentially, probably. It's usually how that sort of works out. I just wanted to crawl through here now to see where it puts me, because maybe it would be a totally unique room or something. The pipe turns out to be much longer than you expected, with a lot of twists and turns. Clearly, efficient airflow and ventilation systems is not a big priority in Gatorman architecture. You eventually come out in either a garbage processing center or a kitchen. Let's take a look. This is probably just the other end of the hallway where Charles Wallace was hanging out, if I had to guess, but we'll poke around first. Even if Gatormen bother to cook their meals, they probably don't cook them in an electric stove standing in 18 inches of water. This is a kitchen, only in the sense that it's a place where food is prepared. There's nothing of value on the shelves, probably not even by Gatorman standards. It's one of those fridges, you know, the ones hanging on big rusty chains. The chain wasn't attached very well, and the whole thing came loose. We got a refrigerator on a chain. Neither the refrigerator nor the chain is in very good shape, but you're probably not going to find a better version of that specific combination. There is the spot that has the giant ice block in the freezer. And I feel like there was something that came up, like, within the last hour or two that was something else refrigeration related, and I ran back to the fridge factory to, like, double check and see if that related, and right now I've got nothing. I've seen no through line, no connecting going on there. The remains of an awful, awful meal. Is it horrible, or is one of those awful? I think that's like OFFAL maybe. Like entrails and things like that, or offals. Most of the filth was scrubbed out of the pipe by your passing. If you want to go back through it, I do want that. I don't, not right now at least. And a big meal triangle. This must be the Gatorman's dinner bell. You've already defeated all the guards, so there isn't much point. Oh, but that would be a way to distract them, summon them to you, and avoid fighting again. Alright, so this is a separate room then. The shoebox is waterlogged. A real survey of nouns. Surfette? Perhaps the shoebox is waterlogged. See if there's any shoes in it. There are big ones. The box disintegrates wide loafers. This is either a pair of shoes for 2 people or 2 pairs of shoes for people who only like to wear 1 shoe, but on both feet at once. Whoa, widens your gait. Oh, so you can walk like a gator? Because your stance will be very wide? That's what I'm picturing for there. We've had the clogs a few episodes. I never even put on the cow shoes. It's time for them to have their time to shine. What the hell? Am I making sound? They have carved hooves at the bottom. Wearing them would be a fashion statement. Makes you clomp around like a cow. Oh, I'm leaving hoof prints behind. That's like the main thing that's changing. But it only works when you're on the ground, not in deep-ish water. So that does nothing. A loose length of rusty chain. As a seasoned adventurer, you can't possibly pass this up. You're not sure exactly how long this chain is because you're not sure how tight you're supposed to pull a chain when you measure it, and also because you don't really care. How tight do you pull a chain when you measure it? I guess you want the least slack possible? That's my assumption. The items on this shelf are all too nasty for you to look at, let alone touch. And a big rusty chemical barrel. We could fish in it first. Quickly give that a shot and see what's inside. Wasn't I doing a quest that was going to result in finding more interesting things while fishing? Someone was going to give me their special rod. I should probably try to close up more random side quests and things sooner rather than later, just to like put a bow on some of that stuff. The barrel says chloroform, and so does the smell leaking out of it. Woof. Dump it out. I see what you're going for, and sure, filling the place with chloroform fumes would knock out all the guards, but it would also knock you out, and the water you're standing in is also knee-deep. You can double-check your to-do list if you want, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have drown scheduled for today. Yeah, sure, I suppose not. Well, then I will leave it alone. Seems like I'm not gonna do anything with it. Well, I guess I go deal with the head honcho at the fortress here. He jumped down into there. Ooh, maybe I could sit on this throne and double up on my benefits that I get from sitting on thrones. You found it, the least comfortable chair in the world. Which actually, now that I think about it, do I have like my heavy is the head or any of those things from expert sitter? I don't actually remember which is which. I hope that I did all the things that are like in my room. I haven't slept in so long that it's hard to remember. And then there's a throne next to the throne. This is the real seat of power. 60 XP, which we're up to 1400. Not hurting for XP. This hole leads down into a massive underground chamber. Attach the chain you found. There, that ought to do it. Okay, awesome. I didn't expect that to pay off immediately. I didn't see what he said, but he cheesed it out of there very quickly. This is quite the weird Tomb Raider Aztec. I don't know what's going on down here. You don't know what this object is, but oh wait, it's got gator blood all over it? It's an altar. Well, it just took a little bit of altering of my perspective to see through that one. It's a weird pedestal. I shot a thing up into the sky that blinked pictures and everything, and then if I bash you up into the light, oh Oh, it moved away too quickly. I can't even interact with that, so I don't know what good that does. I wasn't sure if, like, pausing it... Oh, something was going on there. See, there's totally, like, a portal all of a sudden. I don't know precisely how. Serious, go away! Yeah, don't know entirely how I made that happen. There's, like, a shadow pillar now, and things are getting more otherworldly. Whatever this is, it's extremely broken. Try to fix it with mysticality. All these blocks are clearly trying to move in a way that makes sense. They must have just gotten knocked out of alignment. You move the blocks around relative to each other until they start moving in a more satisfying pattern. Assuming you're a person who thinks a smooth circular pattern is more satisfying than jittery spark-spewing chaos. Surely, everybody is that kind of person. This has to be right. Yeah, that looks great. I will trust it. The device seems less broken now. The weird pedestal flashes, and then the... Oh, I didn't actually even mean to take it there. I don't even know how that happened. Warning, kill you. That was like a little bit annoying, actually. I didn't remotely, like, try to move towards that. The character, like, automatically walked. That's funny that he just gets, like, frozen in a random position. That makes me think of, like, Austin Powers. Well, the device seems less broken. Use it. Oh? Hey! Oof! Ow! Ah! It just shocked me a bunch. Good grief. You wouldn't have fixed it if you'd known it was going to be so ungrateful. We now have the ziggurat power. You've been blasted with a bunch of ancient lasers, and it has awakened the ancient laser power concealed in the mitochondria of your cells. You can use 2 additional combat items per round. That is a shitload. That's like so many. The amount to which that scales is ridiculous. Oh, you can totally... You can hear like a cowbell clomping around while we're using that too. That seems like it literally just turns on the portal. Easy enough, not much to be solved there. Now we're getting like a full-on Pink Floyd laser light show. It seems kind of fun over there. Take a little something and enjoy the spectacle. Is this some kind of ancient temple guardian or something? It's shooting out a bunch of tightly focused beams of light that science doesn't yet have a name for, but which you can probably assume you don't want touching you. I can avoid the beams with a bunch of moxie or destroy it. I'll just avoid it at first, because I thought that would be exciting, and damn it was. That crab walking was like, he's going backwards, long stretchy legs, flopping like a fish, and you ended up back on the wrong side. Why is this going on so long? Helicopter legs. That big scoot at the end, that was so worth it. That was amazing. There's so few gags in this where there's like custom animations to go around with it. It's funny to have like 2 so close together, because we just had another one, didn't we? Just super recently? I'm forgetting what the specific example that's coming to mind was, but that was incredible. I loved that. You worst! Destroy! Goliath! Kill! Oh, they made a giant Goliath gator. He puddled him! Oh god! If I turn that... Okay, you can turn this off. Oh, alright then. It'd be a bad idea to turn that thing back on, unless I, like, wanted to destroy it, but I'll just leave it. Aw, geez, that thing really did a number on that guy. Well, the only way we can pay our respects is to fish around in his goopy remains to see if anything is inside. Waste not gator blood, want not gator blood. Search the puddle. You poke around in the mulch until you find something that looks more or less like an old iron key. Except kind of blurry. It sizzles and twitches in your hand as you pick it up. You've been handling a lot of cursed objects lately, but this one seems especially dangerous. This has to be the key that Charles mentioned. You look at that hulking Goliath at the end of the hall. There doesn't seem to be anything beyond it, and it looks like it could squash you in an instant. Best go back and unlock Charles. You make your way quickly back up the room to where he was being held. I would have kept pushing on, honestly, but I guess we'll go deal with this. It's Charles. He's in a cage. Unlock the cage with a cursed key. You found the key. I think so. It's kind of weird, though. Yeah, I don't like the looks of that at all. I'd bet dollars to donuts that's the artifact we're looking for. It couldn't possibly be the key to this random Gatorman cage in the middle of nowhere, then, could it? Well, it might have some kind of key-related powers. Normally I'd advise against using it, but I don't see any other way out of this mess. Okay, here it goes. Unlock the cage. The key shifts unpleasantly in your hand, buzzing and clicking through a jerky slideshow of shapes, as though searching for the particular slice of a higher dimensional object that will fit this lock. When it finally finds the right one, it jerks forward in your hand and twists. The lock clicks open, and your hand feels numb. Thanks, Grammy, though for sure my bacon was well and truly fried, thought for sure. Don't mention it, Charles. Let's just get the heck out of this dump. With no further cause to stick around, apart from any unfinished side quests you might have, but you can always come back for them later, you escort Charles back to town. Grammy, you found the cursed artifact and brought Charles back home safely. I can't express how grateful I am. I don't know what we'd do without him. Thank you so much. It was nothing, but, you know. Yeah, I get it. Don't forget to uncurse that thing before you go to bed. This key seems like it has the power to open any lock. That could be extremely useful. Would it really be all that bad if I didn't uncurse it? Well, I'm not going to drag you into the machine and force you to do it, but yes, I don't actually know what would happen if you don't uncurse it, but I assume it would be pretty bad. Look, you uncursed all the other things, right? Yes, great. So go ahead and uncurse this one too, okay? Better safe than sorry. Alright. There are things I could not go to because I had do not have the breathing apparatus. I'm like thinking to myself, are there any locks I've encountered that I have not been able to deal with that I would be able to with a magical cursed key? I genuinely can't think of specifics on that though. I probably will just uncurse it, even though I bet there's a specific thing later in the game that it would be useful for, like it's almost certainly a thing. But I think I should sleep, have the next day play out, and kind of progress the story. Charles looks relieved to be back. Thanks again for the rescue, Grammy. I'd have been corned beef hash with a side of eggs if you hadn't showed up. It was nothing, Charles. I basically just followed your wrenches. Here's your wrenches back, by the way. Nice. Knew these babies would come in handy for something someday other than actual handyman work. Don't you use them for, like, wrenching? Well, the 7/8, yeah, but the 255 256ths? Not so much. Gotcha. Anything I can help you with? Nothing right now, Charles. You should probably, like, chill. Yeah, I thought I'd follow up on that in case it had changed. We'll leave it at that. I hadn't Rufused this radio. Rufused gadgeted. I think I need 11. I gotta consult this one more time. 11 radios. Yes. Go to bed, uncurse the key. Alright, before I hop back into the machine here and deal with uncursing the key, I actually do want to run back to the Big Moist. And I want to head to the Gatorman Fortress, because I don't want to forget about this. I don't want to accidentally leave this hanging and, like, never properly return to it. So, at the far end here, I'm suddenly already, like, all spun around, even though I feel like I was just down here. But certainly there's, like, other things going on down here, right? Simple activation. I love the striking the pose jumping in there. It's awesome. I've already used it. There's no way you're subjecting yourself to that again. Yeah, that I agree with that. That makes sense. This is weird. You like automatically move to the side of it. So I think that's what happened the one time is I like accidentally the game started moving me, and so I started walking because I was like, oh, I don't want to go that way, and then that's how I managed to walk myself directly into that. This Goliath will still be down here, right? Okay, messing with this thing did not end well for the Gatorman Chief. Doesn't look like it's gonna end particularly well for you either. Really? You've already got the key. You don't need to go toe-to-toe with a thing whose toes are as big as your head. Yeah, I want to fight it. Okay, I'm gonna do the whole fourth wall thing everybody loves. This is a super hard optional boss fight, not at all balanced. We didn't even bother to test whether it's possible to win. It is. I'll show you. Immune to poison. Oh, good. Thank you, Rufus, for sending a robot along to help me. What the shit? Okay, they gave it insane stats. I have things that lower stats, so I definitely want one of those, like, early on, right? Fire, he's immune to on fire, so I'm not even going to worry about that. Raise all elemental armors. Usable once per fight, will not end my turn. Yeah, I'm going to raise all of my armors. I want that right away. Deal hot damage and heal you. That's not what I was looking for. Where's all my stuff that's like lower all of their stats? I guess I should probably have have had a different offhand item for this fight. Deal what physical? Oh god, things are not going to deal a lot of damage, are they? Alright, I just gained the ability to use a shitload of items per fight, though. Confuse it, prevent it from acting next round. He intends to power up, increasing all stats by 3, and then attack for 33 damage. Well, I don't want you to do any of that, man. I just want to lower all of your stats. It's like my main thing I'm looking for here. Double my moxie. Slurp him with sleaze damage. Give me a hot armor. Damage everyone. Restore 3 action points. I don't need that right now, certainly. Stench armor. Cause bleeding, which won't affect him. Poison, doesn't matter. Damage. Bleeding. Bleed. Give me shielded. I'll slap that on to try and have myself be a little bit protected. Summon a tentacle. I will plant a tentacle. Sure, why not? One more thing to help in battle. That couldn't hurt. Decrease muscle, mysticality, and moxie by 5. You may use 3 more combat items this turn. All right, so that's 1. You know what? I'm going to use 2 of those at him. I lower his stats down to like nothing if I can, and he will attack for 3 physical damage. So he's notably crappier. Summon a Tin Lizzie. Once per fight, only works in Ocean City, so I can't do that one. Reduce all stats by 13. Well, that's very strong. I will keep that one in mind. I probably should have started with that one. I started at the wrong end of my list of items, apparently. Deals damage and reduces moxie. 50 holy damage. This isn't evil enough for holy water to do anything. Interesting. Stench to all enemies. Restore HP, stench armor, restore an action point. I don't really need that. Sleaze damage. I guess I could just try and deal out some damage by throwing some of these things at it. Healing. Restore an action point. Reduce his armor. He does have physical armor, so can I get rid of that? Alright, his armor's gone. That's actually pretty damn useful. Nice to have. I just want to make sure, like, what could I do now that will be of most use? Let's summon a cheese buddy to have one more thing. I will raise my mysticality to be a little stronger. And now I think it'll be more a matter of just kind of dealing damage to this thing. Reduce his moxie? You know what? Sure. I'll try and reduce his stats as much as I can. Alright. I've juiced myself up. Now we start actually trying to do damage. His robot throws a saw blade. It causes bleeding. That won't matter, which is too bad. That would have been really great. This is just damage dealing. And you're going to get quite wailed on here, and those raised stats are worrisome, to say the least. I don't really have the means to lower his stats as much as I, like, feel I need to here. I'll raise my own stats. If I can keep his stats lowered and continue, like, healing up and stuff as much as possible, then, like, maybe. Oh, immune to poisons, that's, like, the worst ally to have against this thing. I should have thought harder about, like, what gear I wanted to give my character and how I wanted to plan all that out. Oh, he's raised his stats so much already. That's brutal. I will... I'll tootle his stats down to nothing, even though he will continue raising them. So that's garbage. I could try to stop him. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry about that. Heal. Oh, it heals myself. Can I not heal someone else? Heal future. Okay, I can select my guy and heal him. So yes, you will get a heal. Dealing damage and reducing Moxie. Alright, in that case, it's dealing the damage. That's the most I can hope for there. Every time he gets attacked, irritable. It will increase all its stats by one every time it's damaged. Well, that's ridiculous. That's why he got so strong so suddenly. Honestly, my minor damage dealings and that stench damage is really killing me here. That's, like, especially bad for me. Yeah, that one actually really does suck. And when I lay all those attacks on him like that, all I'm doing is beefing up his stats like absolute crazy. My tentacles out. Didn't last overly long. I'll give a heal to a buddy. Using some of those is no good. I could juice up my mysticality even more, actually. I wonder if I could keep raising that more and more and more, and if that would be like an effective thing here. So I'll tootle at him. That's what my focus is going to be now. All of a sudden, my helper guys are kind of shitty because my best bet would be to just make myself as strong as possible. So instead, you know what? Let me focus on, like, oh, you're barely hurt. I guess I will just punch, even though I'm raising his stats. Like, that's not good. That's not good for me. I'll do a couple of cracks. It's quite the thing to do. Who knew that would be a part of this game? Find its way in. Immune. I need to commit down this path here quite hard. His stats are getting worrisome. What was the other thing that lowered stats? Because I think I should be committing to that pretty hard. And keep in mind that stat lowering is going to be very, very useful. Restore 3 action points and increase regen by 1. Okay, so I'm actually going to take that instantly. I'm cracking my knuckles as much as I possibly can here. And I should be able to raise my stats like crazy. Where are you? Where was my stat lowering? I don't even want a tentacle in battle anymore because he was kind of messing things up. Same with like the Tin Lizzie. What was the other stat lowering item? Maybe I used it all up, whatever it was. I could use something else to raise my own AP further. That could be useful. Restore 1 action point. Maybe, because I kind of need to, like, get out ahead of that as much as possible. And I can still use more combat items. Give me a minute. Give me a minute while I hunt here. I can add a shield to future me to at least have him more likely to survive, because I kind of do need him to live, I think. The glob of wet hair. This was the thing. That's the other one that I wanted. So let me fling that at him, get his stats lowered. They won't be at their lowest, but at least now I'm dealing a substantial amount of damage, even though I'm about to make him, like, notably stronger. We'll focus our other guys, our other characters, have their turns dedicated to healing so that I have 2 actual damage dealers and I don't waste... Like, I'm raising his stats by these small incremental amounts, but over and over and over again while I'm dealing like 5 damage, and that really isn't worth it. Reduce all the party's stats by 11. I do not want to deal with lowered stats, so that's where I'm using the lasso. He's confused and will not act. I hope he doesn't just delay that. I hope he fully skips it. That would go the furthest for me. 88. It's decent. It's looking pretty good. I have to use the saw for that one. I guess I want you to heal yourself. Oh, elementals are forbidden from healing themselves. That's strange, I guess. You know what? You can just heal him, because again, I don't want to do damage when I don't have to here for this specific battle. That's half health, under half. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. He's going to blast the entire party for 15 damage. I'm over-healed. I didn't even really, like, think I didn't even know that could happen. But sick. I'll take it. Allow me to crack them knucks. 100 damage. Things are looking good here. He's going to kill a couple of things. He's going to kill most things, honestly, this round. And so I might as well just kind of take it. I'll just let him do it. It's not going to matter. There's no saving them. As long as my main guys live through it, I'll be alright, I think. Reducing the entire party's stats by 23. Brutal. I'm going to reduce all of your stuff first. But it's not by nearly as much as I wanted it to be. He's not doing great, though. I think there's a chance. Because I just have to survive like a couple more here. The stat reductions are going to be painful, actually. That's going to suck really, really bad here, especially. Oh, but that's it. I can do enough damage here. All right. I honestly didn't know how that was going to go. You won. Wow. I seriously would not have bet money on that outcome. The ancient wristwatch. You're pretty sure this isn't actually meant to be a wristwatch, but you're also pretty sure you're not going to encounter anybody who knows that for sure. 100% extra item drops, 38 experience, and Yaku got like barely stronger. And on the other side of that, that's quite disappointing that there's nothing actually chilling on the other side of that. Well, dang Orbit. I guess I'll head back to Ocean City. I clearly have to wrap things up here. Take a nice little nap. This is gonna feel like quite sudden and out of nowhere, but at this point, I have already recorded the next episode. I thought I was just doing a tiny little like tag on to round out the last couple minutes of what's happening here, and it ended up becoming a whole series of things. And so it got away from me, and it quickly and easily became a full episode length all into itself. So yeah, I'm gonna round things out here, even though it feels like a silly place to cut things off. Believe me, it makes more sense to group what's coming up into its own episode. But then we have a bunch to get into in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Pitch me on some episode titles, and I hope to see you again soon.